Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mama Jnana-timirandasya Jnana-anjana-salakaya Chakkhuranimilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapadakkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanam Cha Sirupam Saganasirabhinatham Vitam Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalitam Sri Vishakamitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Mancha Kalpatrivasya Kurpa Sindhu Vaivacha Patitanam Pavanabhya Vaishnavya Namo Nama Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasat Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much for Srimad Bhagavatam Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya series. So we are now discussing today about how the child become a celestial sage, Narada Muni. So the Narada Muni's life journey or his transformations, how it happens by the power of devotee association. By power of devotee association, how the transformation happened, today we are going to discuss. So Narada Muni, previous life, after he is instructing Vyasadeva about not only instructing, after he detecting his mistake that he has not glorified the transcendental activities of the Lord. Therefore, Vyasadeva, after compiling all this literature, he was very much dissatisfied, discontent. Then Narada Muni is giving the example how the bhakti is very important. He is quoted that without bhakti, naiskramyam api atutya bhava varjita. Without bhakti, everything is like ornamentation of the dead body, so it's useless. So he is now, Narada Muni was impressing on Vyasadeva that he has missed the very vital point, very cardinal point in his literature, that is called bhakti. Bhakti means glorification of the transcendental activities of the Lord. That he is missing point. Therefore, you can see here, therefore he said very nicely that whatever the literature, whatever the things you do, you should measure whether it is good or not by this process. He said that idham vipunsam tapasa sutasya va swasishtasya swishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dataya avichuttarthat kavivi nirupita yaduttama sloko gunanubananam. So here it is said very nicely that learned circle have positively concluded that infallible purpose of advancement of knowledge, namely austerity, study of Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, and charity, culminates in the transcendental description of the Lord, who is defined in choice poetry. So that is the criteria. Whatever the intelligence, whatever you do, that has to be culminate the point of glorification of transcendental activities of the Lord, which was apparently missing in all the literature compiled by Vyasadeva. Therefore, he was not satisfied because the central point is missing. So Narada Muni now is giving a personal example how is very important, the glorification of the Lord. And that glorification of the Lord can be heard by the power of devotee association. So he is himself is narrating his story that in his previous life, Narada Muni was a son of maid servant. And during the Chaturmasa rainy season, the Bhakti Vedanta, the pure devotee, they usually used to travel to enlighten, enriching the lives of the poor-hearted grihastha. That is their main things. But during the rainy season, they cannot travel. Therefore, they used to stay in one place and discussing about Harikatha. Not that they are spacing out 4 months spiritual vacation. No, they are talking, they are discussing. Bodhayanti parasparam. And during that time, how Narada Muni got an opportunity to serve him, because his mother was maid servant, and Bhakti Vedanta Swami came and stayed. Bhakti Vedantas or the pure devotees, they came there, stayed for 4 months, and mother was serving. Narada Muni was taking remnant of his food, prasadam. Not only that, he also hearing Bhagavatam. In this way, power of devotee association, one can change his life. That is the most important things to be learned here. So let us go back to the Narada Muni description of his previous life. The next verses Narada Muni is impressing upon the Vasudev, narrating his past life. O Muni, in my past life, in the last millennium, I was born as a son of a certain maid servant, engaged in the service of a Brahmana who were following the principle of Vedanta. When they were living together during the 4 months of rainy season, I was engaged in their personal service. How important. See, Prabhupada say that the service to the personality of Godhead, a service to the Supreme Lord, begins with service to the pure devotees of the Lord. When you serve the pure devotee of the Lord, that is equal to serving the Lord. By serving the pure devotee of the Lord, what we will have. So Prabhupada say very nicely that even the service, when Lord say that madhavakta pujyadhika, service to the pure devotee of the Lord is far greater than serving to the Lord. It is more valuable. Therefore, one should choose a bona fide spiritual master and engage in his service. In this, because spiritual master is the transparent medium between Supreme Lord and the neophyte devotee. Therefore, the neophyte devotee choose a bona fide spiritual master, engage in the service of the Lord. That will change the whole paradigm of life. That will change his life. Just like Narada Muni said that, my life has been changed because I am engaged in the service of the pure devotee. That is the most important point to learn. Krishna also say that madhavakta pujyadhika. So in beautiful verses in in 11th canto to Uddhava, he say that madhavakta pujyadhika. To worship the Lord is, or worship the pure devotee is more important than worshipping the Lord. In these verses, he says that Madhavakta Pujya Adhika 11, 19, 21. The conclusion is there that a serious devotee must first approach a spiritual master who not only is well versed in Vedic literature but is also a great devotee with factual realization of the Lord and his different energy. Without the help of such a devotee spiritual master, one cannot make a progress in transcendental science of the Lord. And a bona fide spiritual master like Sukadeva Goswami does not speak about the Lord only in the matter of his internal potency, but also explain how he associates with his external potency. So here very important point Prabhupada made, that how a neophyte devotee who must approach a spiritual master and engage in his service. In this way, one can change his life. Just like Narada Muni he changed his life by serving these pure devotees. So Narada Muni now explaining that what happened when he was engaging the service of the pure devotee. He said that in the next verse that although they were impartial by nature, those followers of Vedanta blessed me with their causeless mercy. As far as I was concerned, I was self-controlled, had no attachment for sports, even though I was a boy. In addition, I was not naughty. I did not speak more than required. So here he is saying that how the Bhakti Vedanta pure devotee, they were very causeless mercy. How they blessed with causeless mercy. Only 5-year boys, he was serving the Bhakti Vedantist, the pure devotees, and he received the causeless mercy. Therefore, the pure devotees are called infectious. Pure devotion is an infectious disease. Infectious disease in a good way. Infectious disease of good quality. So that anybody who is come in contact with pure devotee, he will be contracted with that disease. That means he's contracted or he's imbibed that quality of pure devotee. Therefore, the transformation will happen. So therefore, the association of devotee is very much essential for our transformation. Inevitable. It is an indispensable essential. There is a beautiful verses spoken in this regard. It is stated that how this rare. It is stated in this beautiful verses 11 canto by Nimi Maharaj that dullabha manusya deha dehinam khenabhangura tatrapi dullabham manyam vaikuntha priya darshanam. This human life, for a conditioned soul, human body is most difficult to achieve. It can be lost any moment. But I think even those who have achieved human life rarely gain association of pure devotee who are dear to the Lord of the Vaikuntha. How important, how it is a rare thing. Association of devotee. Without association of devotee, nobody can become pure devotee. One has to be associated with a devotee to learn devotional service or to become a pure devotee. There is no other process. Nobody can become a devotee by his own effort. No. Only by association of devotee one can become a devotee. Bhaktya sanjate bhaktya. That is stated in so many verses. Krishna himself say that to Uddhava, Krishna himself, whole our object of goal is ashraya tattva, means how to develop love for Godhead, prema pumartha mahan. That personality, the object of worship, Krishna, he himself saying the method, how we can approach the Lord, how we can develop the love of Godhead for him. He himself is giving. He is giving a formula. What can be more authentic, more bona fide than the method given by the person who is the object, the goal of everything. So in these beautiful verses, Krishna spoke to Uddhava that prayena bhakti yogena satsangena vinoduddhava. No paya vidyate samyak prayanam hi satam aham. So these are beautiful verses. My dear Uddhava, I am personally the ultimate shelter and way of life for saintly liberated person. And thus, if one does not engage in my loving devotional service, which is made possible by associating with my devotees, which is made possible by the association of devotee, then for all practical purpose, one possesses no effective means for escaping from this material existence. Satsangena, prayena bhakti yogena, satsangena vinoduddhava. Without satsanga, there is no practical purpose. There is no way that one can achieve devotional service. So therefore, Prabhupada is saying that we have to accept a bona fide spiritual master, which is a pure devotees of the Lord, well versed in Shastra, samit pranishrotiyam, sabdeshan is chantam. The qualification is that sabdeshan is chantam, is very well versed and also dedicated his life in the service of the Lord. Then we learn from them. That is the way of advancement of the knowledge. There's a way of becoming a pure devotee. This is the way of attaining pure devotional service to the Lord. And Narada Muni is giving this is a example of a sincere devotee in nutshell. Has been mentioned mentioned in this chapter. So then go back to, there's so many verses in this regard. Without association of devotee, one cannot get. So here in this verses also 11:25, one who has obtained pure devotional service by association with my devotee always engage in worshipping me. Thus he very easily goes to my abode, which is revealed by my pure devotee. Only a pure devotee can reveal the process, the method, how to go back to Godhead, how to reach the destination, how to attain pure devotional service. Krishna is saying himself, satsanga, again satsanga labhaya bhaktya mai mam saupasita savai me dastitam sadvair ajjasa bindhate padam. Again satsagna, by devotee association only one can obtain the pure devotional service. There is no other way. This is a vivid example how a boy, a child of 5 years old, become a celestial sages. The transformation of the Narada Muni is a very much a vivid example of power of devotee association and serving him with affection, humility, and sincerity. So many verses in this regard Krishna has spoken to Uddhava. Many verses. We will go to one more verses in 26:34. How important is devotees association. Here he says that my devotee bestowed divine eyes, where a sun allows only external sight, that only when it rises in the sky. My devotee are one's real worshipable deities, real family. They are one's own self, and ultimately they are not different from me. So Krishna is giving this devotees is very important. They will give the divine eyes to dissipate our ignorance. Amagyanatimirandasya jnananjana salakaya chakhyurunimiletan jaina tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Why? Because Krishna said they give the divine eyes, so that we will see everything as it is. All our ignorance will be dissipated and we will see in a right perspective, in right conclusion. Therefore, association of devotee very important, very important. Sri Krishna also said many times how is important. Oh, greatly unfortunate Uddhava, in the association of such saintly devotee, there is a constant discussion on me. Those partaking in this chanting, hearing of my glories are certainly purified of all sin. Otherwise, we cannot purify by all sin. We have been contaminated. Conditioned soul are contaminated by material infection, material senses. And that all the sins be purified, all the infection will be cleared by the association of devotee. Why? Because we will have an opportunity of hearing our Krishna Katha. So let's go back to the topics. The same things has been spoken by the Narada Muni. He is narrating to Vasudeva about his life. He very nice statement he is given here. He told how the power is just like little association. That also have a great impact. That can bring about a tremendous transformation in the life of the conditioned soul. Ucchiṣṭa-lepān anumodito dvijaiḥ sakṛt bhuñje tad-apāsta-kilbiṣaḥ. So here it is saying, Narada Muni, that once only by their permission, Prabhupada say either by permission or without permission also you can take. I took the remnant of their food. By so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. Thus being engaged, I became purified in heart. At that time, very nature of transcendentalist became attractive to me. Very important. Once Bhakta pada dhuli, Bhakta pada jal, Bhakta bhukta avasesa eitina bol. The powerful substances is the three things. What is the three things? Let's learn. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the two verses, very important verses is there. Antya, he said that Bhakta Pada Dhuli Ara Bhakta Pada Dol Bhakta Bhukta Avasesa Tina Mahabal. The dust of the feet of a devotee, the water that has washed the feet of a devotee, the remnant of food left by a devotee, there are three very powerful substances. Very powerful. Because just like they are like a virus. As soon as we come in contact, the virus we will be contracted with disease. Just like we are in contact with a COVID virus, we will develop the disease COVID. Similarly, the virus, they are called viruses. What is the dust of the feet of the pure devotee? The water that was the feet of the pure devotee, charanamrut, and remnant of the food. These three things are like virus. As soon as you come in contact any of them, then we will develop the disease. What is that disease? We will imbibe the quality of them. What is their quality? Pure devotion. Pure devotional service. So we will increase our affinity, propensity to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, three things are very, very important. Next verses he says that Ei tina seva hoite Krishna prema hoye. What is the repercussion? What is the benefit of in contact with the three things? The dust of the feet, water that was the feet of the pure devotee, and the remnant of prasadam, food. It is stated here, Ei tina seva hoite Krishna prema hoye. Punna punna sarva shastra pura pukhariya kahe. Pukhariya means repeatedly, I think. Pukhariya means loudly say. By rendering service to these three, one attains the supreme goal of ecstatic love for Krishna. In all revealed scripture, this is loudly declared again and again. How important. So Narada Muni is saying that once I tasted with their permission, that brings about a tremendous, stupendous transformation in the life of Narada Muni. Therefore, association of devotee is very, very important. Without association, how can I get the dust? How can I get this water? How can I get the remnant? Of course, there are two kind of association is there. Either by Bapu or by Bani. You can associate, just like now we are discussing about the topics of Bhagavatam, which has been given to us, the knowledge which has been impregnated to us by Srila Prabhupada. So how the association works? So that we can speak. We will be empowered if we follow the instruction of the pure devotee of the Lord. So therefore the association is very important. Little association, ucchiṣṭa-lepān means very little association. In this also context, there is a beautiful verses. Tulyama lavene pina sargam napur bharvam. This verses is repeated 3 times. Bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim ucchiṣṭa-lepān. The value of moment association with devotee of the Lord cannot be compared even with the value of attaining heavenly planet, liberation from matter. What to speak about worldly benediction in the form of material prosperity? A value of moment association, because the moment association will transform our life. In what way? Is it gives us pure devotional service. It brings us to the platform of pure devotional service, which is the highest. What to speak about all other benediction is very inferior quality. Liberation also inferior. Material prosperity is inferior. Highest is the bhakti, prema pumartha mahan. Bhakti is the topmost. Yam labdatam parama labham. By achieving or obtaining bhakti, that is the highest achievement. Highest achievement. Krishna also says that bhakti is the highest. In these verses, Krishna says that there is nothing beyond bhakti. Krishna says that bhaktim labdha bata sadho kim anyad avishishate. In 11:26-30, what more remains to be accomplished for the perfect devotee after achieving devotional service unto the me, Supreme Absolute Truth? Krishna himself speaking. There is nothing beyond bhakti. Therefore, Narada Muni saying that once I tasted their prasadam, food led by them, then I become transformed. I become transformed. Once only by their permission I took the remnant of their food. By so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. So that is the transformation happened. This is transformation happened. At that time, very nature of transcendentalist become attracted to me. Just like iron, when you come in contact with fire, it imbibes the quality of the fire. It is no more iron. Wherever it touches, it's like a bone, like a fire. Similarly, when you come in contact with a pure devotee, we can imbibe their qualities. There is a transformation. In the next two verses, very, very important also. So Narada Muni say that what happened? Oh Vyasadeva, in that association, by the mercy of those great Vedantists, I could hear them describe the activities of the Lord Krishna. Thus, as I listened attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of Godhead increased at every step. In the conditional stage, we have no appetite for hearing. We have no propensity for hearing. We have no taste for hearing. Because we are so much absorbed, engrossed in hearing and all these material things. Mundane news, mundane things, mundane subject matter. Instagram, Facebook, so and so for nowadays, so many unnecessary things imposed on us, bombarded us. We do not want also, we are forced to, because they have created such a system that even a person who do not want to hear, who do not want to see, they are forced to see. Just like Facebook, so many ad is coming. YouTube, so many videos are supplied us, mundane things are supplied to us to distract our mind. Therefore, Kali Yuga is an ocean of distraction. Ocean of distraction. So here it is said that the taste of hearing is not there in the conditioning cell. And that taste of hearing will be sprouts up or will be increased by the process of hearing from the pure devotees. Instead of hearing Instagram, you can hear about the Lord of Nandagram by a pure devotee. Because this is what devotee association. Devotee association means not the ideal talk, cheap talk, unnecessary talk, gossiping. No. It's a suicidal. Gossiping is a suicidal. Ruin this devotional service. Devotee association means Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Discussing about the topics of Vishnu. Krishna also say that madagata prana, madachita madagata prana, bodhoyante parasparam, pathanta cha mam nittam, tushtanti cha ramanti cha. So Krishna also say that the symptoms of pure devotee always discussing with the Krishna Katha. Therefore, one should associate with devotee to hear. We cannot hear Krishna Katha from Tom, Dick and Harry, from Pan Bala, Sab Bala, from a mundane personality, my colleagues and all. No. One can approach a pure devotee, a devotee association. From there he can learn this Krishna Katha. So therefore he said, it is Narada Muni say that by their association I could hear them describe the attractive activities of the Lord Krishna. That is the nature of pure devotee. They are always want to speak about Krishna Katha. There is beautiful verses in this regard. 10th canto. He said that those who are Paramahansas, they are always wanted to talk about Krishna Katha. Pratikyanam, every moment. Paramahansa devotee who have accepted the essence of life are attached to Krishna in the core of their heart. It is the aim of their lives. It is their nature to talk only Krishna at every moment, as if such topics were newer and newer. They are attached to such topics, just as a materialistic attached to topics of women and sex. Therefore, one should approach a devotee association. Because pure devotee association means an opportunity to hear about the glorious activities or attractive activities of Lord Krishna. That will develop, increase more and more, you increase to hear about Krishna. So therefore the devotee association is very, very important. In the association of pure devotee, there is no sociology, psychology, no. It is stated in these verses that in association of devotee, there is no psychology, sociology, no. Only, yes, uttama sloka gunanuvannanam. Who are the pure devotee mentioned here? In an assembly of pure devotee, there is no question of discussing material subject like politics and sociology. In an assembly of pure devotee, there is discussion only the qualities, forms, pastime of the Supreme Personality of God. That's all. Therefore, one should always hanker to have a association of pure devotee, or at least devotee association, who is following this pure devotee path of always discussing about pastime of the Lord. This is the proper way of devotee association. So let's go back to the verse. So after hearing Krishna Katha, this very important is the sound. Sound is very important. By hearing, simple by hearing the Krishna Katha, one can become associate with Lord. That is the process. Simply by hearing. Just Uttama Sloka Gunanubandhana, 1.5.26. So that means Prabhupada write the purport that simply by hearing whole idea is that simply by hearing about the Lord's activities or pastime, one can become one can become association of the Lord, get the association of the Lord. That is the process. Prabhupada say that in these things that purport, very important purport. Prabhupada say that by hearing the narration of the pastime of the Lord, one contact directly with personality of Godhead. So that is the important point. So in this way, all the accumulated sins are destroyed. All the accumulated sin will be destroyed. So in Bhagavatam also, very so many verses in this regard, important of hearing is given, that Srimadvam Sokatha Krishna Punya Sarvana Kirtana. By hearing Krishna Katha is very punya, auspicious. What will happen? Vidhunati Swasyatam. Srinvata Sokatha Krishna Punya Sarvana Kirtana. Hudam Tustani Abhadrani. All this Abhadrami means infection will be cleared by hearing Krishna Katha. Therefore, hearing process has been very much strongly recommended. By hearing, one can easily associate with the personality of Godhead directly. That is stated in these verses. Before we go, we can see these verses I showed you, 11, 26, 28, 29. In these verses, it is said that O greatly fortunate Uddhava, in the association of such saintly devotees, there is a constant discussion of me. Those partaking in the chanting, hearing of my glories are certainly purified of all sins. This is the whole point, is that how important. How important. In the next verses, Krishna spoke to Uddhava that, and this is possible by the association of devotee. Whoever hears chant respectfully, takes to the heart these topics about me, become faithfully dedicated to me, thus achieve my devotional service. This is the process. The process is Krishna is speaking that by association of devotee, one get the opportunity of hearing about my glory. By hearing about my glories constantly, he will purify all the sins, all the infection, and become faithfully dedicated to me, thus achieve my devotional service. That is the proper idea of or purpose of associating with devotee to hear the glories of the Lord. Krishna himself says very nicely. Then Narada Muni also saying that what happened when he hear about the Krishna Katha. O great sage, as soon as I got a taste for Supreme Personality of God, and my attention to hear of the Lord was unflinching, and my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle covering. For both the Lord and I are transcendental. See how important is hearing, how it can transform. By hearing, we can develop the taste for hearing more and more. More and more. And when you more and more, when your hearing process is unflinching, that time all our ignorance is destroyed. Then we know that I am the spirit soul. Lord is also spirit soul, supreme spirit soul. I am Sanatana, Lord is Sanatana. And my duty to engage in the service of the Lord. We know the purpose, goal of life to go back to Godhead. All these things can be revealed to us by the process of hearing about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From the pure devotee, from a bona fide spiritual master, from a pure devotee. That is whole idea. That transformation will happen. So here it is saying that this is also stated in this 1 to 16, how we can get the taste. Somebody say that is fine, I understand. The hearing is very important, but how we can get the taste for hearing? So to taste for hearing means Sushusa-sadadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Sen Mahata Seva Vipra Punya Tithani Sevanat. How to get the taste for hearing? The answer is given here, that why twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. To get the urge and affinity to hear about Krishna Katha, which is the most important things to transform our life or obtain the pure devotional, achieve the pure devotional service. So how the affinity will come? Affinity come by engaging in the service of the pure devotee. Therefore, Prabhupada says that our service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead begins with the service to the pure devotee. We are serving the spiritual master, Jasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada. Then automatically we will get this mercy of the Lord. The affinity for hearing. Therefore, devotee association is very important, where we have an opportunity for hearing, and we can develop also affinity for hearing more and more and more, as Narada Muni is saying. So we will go back to the verses where Narada Muni continuing speaking about the things. During the 2 seasons, rainy season and autumn, I had the opportunity to hear the great soul sages constantly chant the unadulterated glories of the Lord Hari. As the flow of my devotional service began, the covering of the mode of passion and ignorance vanished. That is important point. Devotional service, when the devotional service begin, all this passion, ignorance will be automatically vanished. No need of any kind of external endeavor to do that. Bhakti paresanubhava viraktir anyatha. As soon as bhakti is coming, all things association, Vasudeva Bhagavate, Vasudeva Bhagavate, Bhakti, sorry, what is this? Bhagavati Bhakti Prayojita, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Prayojita, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, Janayati Asuvairagyam Jnanam Chayad Ahitukam. So, by rendering service under the personality of God, as a Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. Automatically causeless, you don't have to externally. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. Another place I say that Bhakti Paresanubhava Viraktir. As soon as Bhakti comes, automatically all this material attachment, mode of passion and ignorance, so much material desire, that will automatically vanish. Therefore it is said that nasta prayasu abhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naiste. Nasta prayasu, all this infection of mode of passion and ignorance will be destroyed. If you hear Bhagavatam, Krishna Katha. So that's why Narada Muni is saying that happens when I hear, then all this mode of passion, I hear and engage in the service, all the mode of passion, everything vanished. Passion and ignorance. I was very much attached to those sages. I was gentle in behavior and all my sins were eradicated in their service. In my heart, I had strong faith in them. I subjugated the sense. I was strictly following them with body and mind. That is the thing. It's not that after you hear from spiritual master, then space out. No, we should follow. Spiritual discipline is very, very important. Spiritual discipline means obedience. The first law of discipline is obedience. Obedience to the instruction of spiritual master is very important. And without spiritual discipline, one cannot maintain his Krishna consciousness. One cannot sustain his Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Arjuna says, therefore Narada Muni say that I was following them with body and mind. Then Narada Muni is continuing that as they were living, those Bhakti Vedanta who were very kind to poor-hearted soul instructed me that most confidential subject which is instructed by Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the benefit when you associate with this Lord, devotees of the Lord, they can give all the secret, confidential thing. Therefore it is said that dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhyam mahajana jaina gata sapanta. The actual tattva, truth of religion is there in the heart of, hidden in the heart of the pure devotees, mahajana. Therefore, one must follow the mahajana so that they can reveal the confidential part of spirituality, confidential part of religion. We cannot do that by tarka pratishtha, by hearing here and there, no. By reading all the books. Simply by serving those pure devotees, hearing from them, they will reveal this one. Reveal this one to us. By that confidential knowledge, I could understand clearly that influence of energy of the Lord Krishna, the creator, maintainer, annihilator, everything. By knowing that, one can return him and personally meet him. See, very important point. By that confidential knowledge, I could understand. What is that confidential knowledge? That influence of energy of the Lord Krishna, the creator, maintainer, annihilator, everything. By knowing that, one can return. So he is the creator, janmadesya jataha. He is the creator, he is the maintainer, he is the annihilator. Bhaktaram jagyam tapasam. He is everything. Janmadesya sata. Aham sarvasya prabhava matah sarvam prabhatate. Iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samandi. Everything is emanating from him. Nothing is beyond him. Aham evasam evagri chatushloki bhagavatam. By knowing that Lord is the proprietor, Lord is the master, Lord is the creator, he is the maintainer, he is destroyed, one can go back to Godhead and meet him, personally meet him. Personally meet him. So therefore this confidential knowledge, which is very, very important, and that is only revealed by devotee. Krishna says that one can get by the pure devotional service. The confidential knowledge is pure devotional service. Only by the revealed by my devotee. My devotee only can reveal it. Already showed the verses 11, 11, 25. That by my devotee satsanga labhya bhaktya, labdaya bhaktya. One who has obtained pure devotional service by association of my devotees. One cannot get it from any other source. Only a devotee can reveal is confidential. So in this way, Narada, Narada Muni, what he is saying that in this way he got the confidential knowledge. And O Brahmana Vasudev, it is decided by learned that best remedial measure for removing the trouble, misery, to dedicate one's activity to service of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very important point. So here he say that how the devotional service is very important. See, same thing, we are using our services to dog. Instead of dog, you can use the same services to God. Then our life will be changed. Just like milk. A milk, if you take, more milk you take, you will have diarrhea and problem of stomach. But same milk with transformation of the cord is the cure of that disease. Therefore, it is say that it is here say that a remedial measure is same thing for removing all the trouble. The measure is to dedicate one activity to service of this Supreme Personality of Godhead. Same senses, when it is used instead of our sense gratification, used for the service of the Krishna, then one can become glorious. Therefore, it is stated that what is that? Tat-prasadana nirmalam husikena husikesa sevanam bhaktirutta. Sarvopadi vinurmuktam tat-paratena nirmalam husikena husikesa sevanam. Our all senses should be used for the master of the senses. Just like Arjuna. Arjuna in the beginning, he declined into fighting. He was always thinking of to how to satisfy his own sense. He thought that this war, Kurukshetra war, Mahabharata war, is not palatable for me because I have to lose my relatives, my teacher, my kith and kins. Therefore, he declined to fight. But after hearing Bhagavad Gita, the confidential knowledge, he understood that the secret of success is how to engage our senses for the satisfaction of the Lord. That he did it after hearing Bhagavatam, Sri Bhagavad Gita. So that is the real things. That is the real central point of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada is saying that how to engage our senses for the in satisfaction or in the service of the Lord. That is whole idea. So Narada Muni now continuing speaking that, O good soul, does not a thing applied therapeutically cure a disease which was caused by that very same thing? Same thing is saying about, just like a milk product causes stomach problem. Same milk product can be used for curing stomach by transforming into the cord. Same senses used for the service of the Lord, that causes liberation. Same senses used for the our own satisfaction gratification, that causes bondage. Same thing. Medicine also use the same thing. Same thing which causes the misery, same thing can be applied to relieve that misery. To relieve the stomach pain, same milk product is used as a cord. So in this way, he is giving very nice advice to thus when all men's activity are dedicated to service of the Lord, those very activity which cause his perpetual bondage become a destroyer of tree of war. See, when the activities, what is that? Jagyartha karmana, anyatha lokoyam karma bandhana. Same activities when dedicated to the Supreme Lord, that will free us from the perpetual bondage. Narada Muni now is instructing that how important of how he became, how the process of he became from a boy to celestial stage. Whatever work is done here in this life for satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called bhakti yoga, a transcendental loving service to the Lord. What is called knowledge becoming concomitant factor. He is telling knowledge is a concomitant factor. Prabhupada given a purport. General and popular notion is that by discharging fruitive activity in the terms of direction of the scripture, one becomes perfectly able to acquire transcendental knowledge for spiritual realization. Bhakti yoga is considered by some to be another form of karma, But factually, bhakti yoga is above both karma and jnana. See, bhakti is not the dependent on karma and jnana. Bhakti yoga is independent of jnana or karma. Is independent of jnana and karma. On the other hand, jnana karma are dependent on bhakti yoga. This kriya yoga, karma yoga are recommended by Śrī Nārada to Vyasa, especially recommended because the principle is to satisfy the Lord. Lord does not want his sons or the living being to suffer threefold of misery. He desires that all of them come to him, live with him. But going back to Godhead means one must purify himself from the material infection. When work is performed, therefore, to satisfy the Lord, the performer becomes gradually purified from the material affection. This purification means attainment of spiritual knowledge. Therefore, knowledge is dependent on karma or work done on behalf of the Lord. Other knowledge being devoid of bhakti yoga or satisfaction of the Lord cannot lead one back to kingdom of God, which means it cannot even offer salvation. As already explained in connection in stanza beginning, naiskramyam api achutta bhava varjitam. The conclusion is that devotee engaged in unalloyed service of the Lord, especially in hearing and chanting of his transcendental glory, become simultaneously spiritually enlightened by the divine grace, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Very, very important point. So, whole idea of Narada Muni instruction to Vyasadeva that by doing the same activities for the Lord, one can get the transcendental knowledge about the Lord. By the transcendental knowledge, one can engage in the bhakti yoga. This is the process. But those who are engaged in the bhakti yoga by transcendental hearing, chanting, they do not depend on karma and jnana. They are automatically, as Krishna says, simultaneously, Prabhupada is writing, simultaneously spiritually enlightened by the divine grace. By hearing and chanting. So therefore, it is very important hearing and chanting of the Supreme Personality of Godhead pastime glories. While performing duty according to the order of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remember him, repeatedly remembering his names, his quality. So this is the thing. An expert devotee of the Lord can mold his life in such a way while performing all kind of duty, either for this or next life, he can constantly remember the name, fame, quality of the Lord. The order of the Lord is distinctly there in Bhagavad Gita. One should work only for the Lord in all sphere of life, every sphere of life. Lord should be situated as his proprietor according to Vedic rites. Even in the worship of some demigods like Indra, Brahma, Saraswati, Ganesh, system is that in all circumstances, representation of Vishnu must be there as a Yajñeswara. So Krishna is this is what explained, that Krishna is the Yajñeswara. He is the beneficiary of all sacrifice. Even after you worship demigod, he is the first Yajñarthe karmano, anyatha lokayam karma bandha. In this way, he is explaining about the importance of engaging in service. Let us all chant the glories of Vasudeva along with his plenary husband Pradyumna. In this way, he is explaining everything about the bhakti, the importance of bhakti yoga. And so finally, Narada Muni gives instruction, very important. Please therefore describe the Almighty Lord activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas, for that will satisfy hankering of great learned men, and at the same time mitigate the misery of the masses of common people, who are always suffering from material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such misery. Very, very important. Narada Muni, from practical experience, that how he became child to a celestial sage, he here asserts that prime solution for all the problem of material work is to broadcast very widely the transcendental glories of the Supreme Lord. There are four classes of good men and bad men. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna say the four kind of bad, and both for bad and good men, for everyone, Bhagavatam is very important. Because by hearing, even a bad man become good men become better men or best men. So therefore, Bhagavatam is for everyone. Because Bhagavatam is the full of glories of the Lord. So Naradji advised Vyasadeva to describe the glories of the Lord, just to do good all the 8 classes of men, both good and bad. Srimad Bhagavatam is therefore not meant for any particular class of men or sect. It is for the sincere soul who actually want his own welfare and peace of mind. That's the end of the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So this is thing how Srimad Bhagavatam is so important. It's for everyone, bad or good. Everybody will get an opportunity to hear about glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead and go back to Godhead. That is whole idea. So Narada Muni giving his personal example, how he simply by hearing the glories of the Lord in association with the Vedantist, a pure devotee, he became a celestial sage. In previous life, a maid servant son in a humble atmosphere, a 5-year boy, a child become a celestial sage. So in next chapter, 6th chapter also he is explaining that how he become a, then the Vasudev is asking question, what happened next? In previous life, you have an opportunity of hearing from the pure devotee about the glories of the Lord. You take the remnant of the food, there is a transformations in your heart and you engage in service of the Lord. What happened then? So then Narada Muni explaining about his own life in a nutshell. He said that after this Bhakti Vedantist, they impregnated spiritual knowledge in me. There is a tangible change of life happened in Narada Muni life. He become devoted to Krishna because without service he become attracted to not only hear about Lord, also engage in the service of the Lord. Hearing and chanting also is a service. More and more engage in the service. Therefore, it is said that Atha Sri Krishna Namadi na Bhavat Graham Indriya. Everything start with devotional service by chanting, by hearing his glories. By tongue is the beginning, by chanting, taking the prasadam. Without service, one cannot understand the God. What to speak about devotional service? Therefore, service is important. Navada Bhakti has been given by Prahlad Maharaj that Sravanam Kirtanam Vishmi begins with Sravanam Kirtanam Vishmi. Maranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Dasam Atmani Vedanam Sakhyam Atmani Vedanam. Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhakti Chena Navalakhyam. So one has to engage in the service. So what happened when Narada Muni has a tangible change in the life, this the important symptoms visible, that is called initiation. When you get initiated to spiritual master bona fide, actually it brings about the tangible transformation in the life of neophyte devotees. That is whole idea. The spiritual realization begins to happen by initiation. So Narada Muni, same thing happened. Then while milking, when the Vedantists, after the 2 seasons, rainy and autumn season, finished, they left this place. Then Narada Muni was anyway is a 5-year child, very affectionate to the mother. But one time what happened that one day when his mother milking the cows was bitten by serpent and he died. She died. So Narada Muni thought that because already he was impregnated with spiritual knowledge, then he thought that it is a great opportunity. It is actually the work of Krishna, is a mercy of Krishna, and a great opportunity for me, so that he will put me in a devotional service. Sometimes the adversity is important. Therefore, Kunti Devi is praying that let there be some adversity, let there be some distress, let there be some danger that intensify our bhakti. Bhakti intensify when you are in a very distressing situation, very dangerous situation. Therefore, Narada Muni thought that this is the will of the Lord to intensify my devotional service. So he left the place and he was traveling and then become fatigued, traveling here and there, everywhere in jungle, drinking water. Then he was very fatigued and he was meditating on Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he learned from the Vedantis. That time Lord actually appeared. Lord appeared. It is stated that Lord appeared. In these verses it says that Lord appeared before Narada Muni. After my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolis, towns, villages, animals, farms, mine, garden, nursery, and natural forest. So he's saying that Lord appeared actually. I passed through the hills, mountain full of reservoir, various mineral like gold, silver, copper, so and so forth. I then passed along many forests. He was traveling like anything, because mother is already passed away, so he is traveling. Thus traveling, I felt tired, both bodily and mentally. I was both thirsty and hungry. I took bath in a river, lake, also drank water. By contacting with water, I got relief from my exhaustion. After that, under the shadow of a banyan tree in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the super soul situated within me, using my intelligence that I had learned from the liberated soul. The intelligence is purified by the knowledge of this liberated soul. Therefore, association of liberated soul will purify not only our mind, our intelligence. So we meditate upon the Supreme Soul. As soon as I begin to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead with my mind transported in a transcendental love, tears rolled down from my eyes. Without delay, the personality of Godhead appeared on the lotus of my heart. He appeared within the heart. O Vyasadeva, at that time, being exceedingly overpowered by feeling of happiness, every part of my body became separately enlivened. Being absorbed in an ocean of ecstasy, I could see neither myself nor the Lord. So that is the symptoms of when person is see the Lord, The transcendental form of the Lord is satisfy all the mind desire at once, erases all mental incongruities. Upon losing the sight of that form, I suddenly got up, being perturbed, as is usual when he loses that which is desirable. So he was meditating and Lord appeared within the heart. Then he was very much jubilant, very much exuberantly ecstatic, symptoms visible. And suddenly Lord disappeared. So when Lord disappeared, so I desired to see again that transcendental form of the Lord, but despite my attempt to concentrate upon the heart with eagerness to view form again, I could not see him anymore. Thus dissatisfied, I was very much aggrieved. I was very much aggrieved. Oh, I want to see again the beautiful form that bring all auspiciousness. Seeing my attempt in that lonely place, the personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to all mundane description, spoke to me with gravity and pleasing word just to mitigate my grief. People say that Lord has no form. How the Lord has appeared in the form? O Narada, Lord said, I regret that during this lifetime you will not able to see me anymore. Those who are incomplete in service, who are not completely free from material tent, can hardly see me. That is very important. If we are not matured in our devotional service, they cannot see me. Prabhupada is writing, the personality of God is described in Bhagavad Gita as the most pure and supreme and absolute truth. No trace of tinge of materiality in his person. Thus one who has the slightest tinge of material affection cannot approach him. No. The slightest tinge also cannot approach. Because Lord is full of Param Brahma, Paramadhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, supremely pure. So unless one pure, one cannot approach God. Jesante antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam sedhanda mohonirtam. The beginning of devotional service starts from the point one is freed from the at least two forms of material mode, namely mode of passion and mode of ignorance. Then one is in remaining mode of nature, goodness. The result is exhibited by the sign of being freed from kama and lobo. Two things is important. Kama is lust, lobo is covetousness. That is the mode of ignorance and passion. This is to say that one must be freed from desire for sense gratification, avarice for sense gratification. And to be completely freed from the material tinge is to become free from the mode of goodness. Also, to search the audience of God in a lonely forest is considered to be in the mode of goodness. One can go out into the forest to attain spiritual perfection, but that does not mean that one can see the Lord personally there. One must be completely freed from all material attachment, be situated on the plane of transcendence. So somehow or other, even a mode of goodness also one can see the Lord, but one cannot see the Lord. Therefore, Narada Muni could see the Lord, but for the momentarily, because he was not yet purified. Goodness also is infection. One should clear the goodness also. The temple of the Lord is also a transcendental place, whereas forest is meant materially good inhabitation. See, temple is also is better to go instead of forest, go to temple. Neophyte devotee is always recommended to worship the deity of the Lord, Archana, rather go into forest to search out Lord. Devotional service begin from the process of Archana, which is better than going out to the forest. Better to engage in devotional service, praying, Archana, rather than going to forest. In his present life, which is completely freed from all material hankerings, Śrī Nārada Muni does not go into forest. Although he can turn every place into Vaikuntha by his presence only, he travels from one planet to another planet and convert me in God, Kinnara, Gandharva, etc. So here it is very important that Prabhupada is saying that no need to go for search the Lord in forest. Neophyte can start worshipping the deity in temple. Temple also a transcendental place, and they can also see the Lord. Therefore, Prabhupada is writing that like devotee like Nārada Muni and Dhruva Maharaj, follow them, engage his whole time in glorifying the Lord by the process of Kirtan. Such a preaching process is transcendental to all material quality. So here we can understand that how Lord has appeared and immediately disappeared also, because the devotional service is not mature. Oh virtue one, you have only one seen my person. Krishna is speaking to the Narada. Oh virtuous one, you have only one seen my person. This is just to increase your desire for me. Just like a person who has got some valuable thing and lose, he will have a hankering, oh I should have got. Because the more you hanker for me, more you will be freed from all material desire. That is the thing. Our hankering should be there. Our hankering is not there. That is called laulyam. That is spoken by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita. Laulyam ekam mulyam. That hankering, that desire should be there. That intense desire, one can get the Krishna easily. Therefore, one should hanker to see the Lord, go back to Godhead, see the Lord directly, face to face. By service of the absolute truth, even for a few days, devotee attend the farm and fix intelligence in me. Consequently, he goes on to become my associate in transcendental world after giving up the present deplorable material world. Krishna is very nicely speaking. Very important verses, 2-3 verses, when Krishna is speaking to Narada Muni. The process of going back to Godhead. By service, without service, nobody can approach Lord. So therefore, whenever the devotional service, devotee should not space out, oh, service, why me only, why not he is doing, why not she is doing. No, it's an opportunity for us to do service. That is our benefit. Even a few days, solpam apyasya dharmasya, few days also one attend the farm and fix intelligent in me. Consequently, what happened? He go back to Godhead and associate with me. Intelligent engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time, even at the time of creation as well as at the time of annihilation. Your remembrance will continue by my mercy. See, even after, that is what spiritual life, best thing about spiritual life or Krishna consciousness means, even after you die, you carry forward your Krishna consciousness. It's not gone. Material intelligence is gone. Einstein has to take birth and start with A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Sir Isaac Newton start with ABC 1, 2, 3. They will not start with law of gravity or theory of relativity. But spirituality is different. Spirituality meaning continue. Devotional service rendered to personality of God and never goes in vain. Since personality of God is eternal, intelligent, applied in his service or anything done in relation to him is also permanent. In Bhagavad Gita, it says that such transcendental service rendered unto the personality of Godhead accumulate birth after birth when the devotee fully mature. Total service counted together makes him eligible to enter into the association of personality of God. Such accumulation of God's service never vanishes but increase till matured. See, it is increasing only. Bhunamanam janmanmante jnanaman mam prapadante Vasudevaha sarvamiti samahatma sudullava. So every birth we are increasing this intelligence, devotional intelligence for the Lord. In this way, finally, we go back to Godhead. Then that supreme authority personified by sound, unseen by eyes, but most wonderful, stopped speaking. Feeling a sense of gratitude, I offered my obeisance unto him, bowing my head. So here it is saying that Lord by sound comes that you are not mature, but you become mature. You continue this process, you become matured, and next you can come back to me. Thus I begin chanting the holy name, fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formality of the material world. Such chanting and remembering of transcendental pastime of the Lord are all benedictory. So doing, I travel all over the earth, fully satisfied, without being proud and envious. So very important things. So here Narada Muni saying, although Lord appeared within the heart for a momentarily, then he appeared, the sound came, he was very dissatisfied. Sound came that you are not matured yet in your devotional service. Therefore, to get matured means you have to more and more hanker to approach God or associate with God or going back to God. Lowlyam means greedy, spiritual greed, spiritual hankering. Therefore, Rupa Goswami is saying that this hankering is very important. So, life of a sincere devotee is thus explained in a nutshell by Narada Muni, by his personal example. Such a devotee, after his initiation by the Lord or his bona fide representative, takes very seriously chanting the glories of the Lord, traveling all of the world so that others may also hear the glories of the Lord. Such devotees have no desire for material gain. They are conducted by one single desire to go back to God. This awaits them in due course of quitting the material body, because they have the highest aim of life, going back to Godhead. They are never envious of anyone, nor they are proud of being eligible to go back to Godhead. The only business is to chant and remember the holy name, fame, pastime of the Lord, according to personal capacity to distribute the message for others' welfare, without motive of material gain. So beautifully purport that how our life should be. We should approach a spiritual master, get initiation, hear from him, and continue chanting and hearing, remembering the glorious activities of the Lord and other different service. In this way, we will be eligible to go back to Godhead. Also, we can disseminate this knowledge to everybody, not being envious. If you are not preaching, you are envious actually. Jiva hinsa. Prabhupada say in other CC, Jiva hinsa means you are envious of other living entity if you are not preaching. That is not a good point. Prahlad Maharaj said, no, I don't want to go. The enviousness is there. Therefore, one time what happened, Prabhupada disciple Jamuna Devi Dasi was sent to different places in Vrindavan and any other part to learn about the cooking. After learning cooking, she became very expert cook. But Prabhupada said that if you do not share your knowledge, you become envious. Therefore, it is saying that to double your knowledge, you have to share your knowledge. You share your knowledge, otherwise envious, or you become proud. Oh, I know, I am eligible. Nobody is greater cook. Therefore, one should disseminate this knowledge. One of the verses he says that one cannot go back to Vaikuntha if he is not disseminating this knowledge. He is not thinking of the welfare of the people. I forget these verses. Eligible for is 4 canto, 4:12. Forget. So this beautiful verses he say that one cannot become go back to God and he is not thinking welfare activities of everyone. That is stated that. So anybody who is therefore this is a life of a sincere devotee explained how Narada Muni became a sage. So one should follow how the Narada Muni is how the Narada Muni is actually, this is stated in many verses. One should give his life for the welfare of the people. 10, 22, 35 also there. So in these verses it is said that real things is that it is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. That is the whole idea. So after learning, after become purified, after become we should also teach to others. That is whole idea. We should share this knowledge to others, so other will get benefit. There is specific verses is there that says that nobody is eligible. He is not. Yes, I was thinking that 4:12:36. In these verses, he states that the self-effulgent Vaikuntha planet, by whose illumination alone all the illuminating planet within his material world give up the reflected light, cannot be reached by those who are not merciful to other living entities. So we cannot enter into this and without enter into Vaikuntha planet who are not merciful to other living entity. Only person who constantly engage in welfare activity for other living entity can reach Vaikuntha planet. If Prabhupada always engaging, Prabhupada also life is exactly like Narada Muni. You can say I more or less, because he has left everything. He went there and everywhere he is traveling and disseminating this knowledge. He initiated by his Guru Maharaj Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, engaged in the service of the Lord. Then he went to America and preached this one. This is also the life of a sincere devotee, which is very much akin to Narada Muni. So this is the process that Prabhupada saying that one should associate with, one should approach a spiritual master, hear from him. By hearing from him, engage in the service, one can develop this love for God and finally go back to God. Even Krishna also speaking, this is the process. And final verses of Rupa Goswami speaking about how the hankering is very important. Hankering means lolium, greed. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kriyatam adi kutapi labhyate tatra lolami api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukrati na labhyate. A pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by past activity in 100 and 1,000 of lives. It can be attained only by paying one price, that is intense greed to obtain it. So therefore Lord disappears from Narada Muni's side to increase his greed, his hankering to obtain it. If it is available somewhere, one must purchase without delay. So that is the process. One should be always enthusiastic, hanker how to go back to Godhead, how to associate with Lord. And that can be done when you are properly following the instruction of the spiritual master and engage in the service, particularly hearing, chanting the glories, supreme, the wonderful glories of the Supreme Personality of God. So we should learn that how power of devotee association, a moment of power of devotee association can change our lives. One can become a child to a celestial sage. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that sadhu sanga sarva shastra kahe lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoye. In 2254 verses, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, simply by moment association. The Bhagavad of all revealed scripture is that by even moment association with pure devotee, one can attain all success. That is what today's topics, from child to celestial sages in Narada Muni's transformations by the association of pure devotee. That is to very 2-month association. It's not a big 2-month association. Thank you very much. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Guru Premanand.